Welcome to Doug Does Stuff. I'm Doug, and here's the workshop. And honestly, the workshop is a mess. For over the last week, we have been printing coasters non-stop on our Kobra S1. We've been printing coaster holders on our Ender 3 V2 Neo. And over here,
that's my printer.
We've been printing all sorts of stuff on the Ender 3 Pro that we updated.
Like this.
Like that. Well, over here, come over to the Kobra S1. The Kobra S1, we have put on about 220 hours. You're going to say, wow, Doug, that's awesome. You've been printing. Well, there's a caveat to that. I've only been able to print on the first third of the bed or the back third of the bed. I have not been able to print on the entire bed. If I do, it goes haywire and doesn't give me a decent print. I've been able to get acceptable prints here and there. So with all of those hours, it's time to do some maintenance. Looking at the Anycubic wiki, it'll walk us through it. So next step is look at what the wiki says, get all of this out so it's accessible, and let's start doing some maintenance on that. Then we'll do it on that, and then we'll do it on that.
And my dad printed this, and the other parts broke.
Yeah, they broke.
Yeah.
And hopefully we can get some more organization here to get this place into a little bit of a printing farm.
My HO train engine.
Your HO train engine?
Yeah.
All right. So we are here with my Kobra all set up, ready to be cleaned. And according to the wiki, as you just saw, we should be doing this every 3 months or when we hear weird noises coming from our Z screws. We're going to do the Z screw first, and then we'll do the Y and the X. Z, in case you don't know, up and down. Y is front back, and X is side to side. A couple things I use: Super Lube, always have with all my 3D printers. Multi-purpose synthetic grease, part number 21030. The other thing, I had printed this a long time ago, keeping it in a plastic bag. This I use to grease the Z screws. Actually, you can still see it's got some grease in it. It fits onto this 3D printed piece. You get it in there, and as you squeeze up and down, you end up greasing your Z screw. The Anycubic wiki says to do it a little bit differently, and we're going to follow the wiki because we don't want anybody to say it's our fault. The last thing, or the first thing we'll use, is gear floss. I got this on Amazon. This stuff is great for, I guess, cleaning gears, but also cleaning here on our printer. They come in, you know, like that. And all you do is wrap it around and look at that, up and down to clean your screws. All right. You can see already, or maybe you can't because this is a really harsh fluorescent light in here. But yeah, there you go. Now, just from that really quick one, it was really dirty. All right. So with that, get that out of the way. What we're going to do is we're going to clean all the Z screws. We're going to run this down and clean them again. Anycubic does have you leave your printer plugged in and turned off and then turn it back on to do other stuff. So anyway, it says to use a lint-free. You do you. I am going to choose to do it this way, all the way down, and then I will show you. It's turning that nice and black, right? So let's get it down here at the bottom, all the way at the bottom, and then we're just going to follow it up all the way here and all the way up through the screws. Now there are 3D printed Z screw cleaners that kind of like grooves and they clean it out. I'm going to do the other side that you can't see, but I'm going to do it here. And then we'll reach in the back and we will do the back. And these are not the cleanest I've seen. all I do is I just move it. I pull it so that it goes in the same direction as the screw and goes up the screw to the top. And try not to get it caught in there. The fingers are caught. There we go. And then, I mean, can you see the sheen on my fingers right now? Let's get this in the back here. This is going to be tough. Isn't it? Yeah. That's not nice. All right, get this all the way down to the bottom. Come on. And same thing, just going to work our way up. No! Looking over my shoulder, I don't think you can see what's going on back there. But there's not a lot of room to get your fingers in there. There we go. All right. So that came out pretty dirty. All right, so now we are going to move our printer down. So we have to home everything. So it's going to home, and then we'll go from there. All right, so we're all homed, and now I'm going to, see up here, I'm going to change this to 50, and I'm going to drop it down. See if we can get, is that better? Anyway, go down one more. So that was what? 100, 150, 200. Perfect. I could come down a little bit more, but I'm not going to. All right, so again, I might just get a new piece here just to see how we're doing. New piece of gear floss. This is for you guys. All right, all the way up. Nice and tight in there. You want to make sure, oh, that is gunky up top, where I do most of my printing. And these Z screws are not really attached to anything at the top. That was just from the very top, where the bed was sitting prior. So I'll show you again. Start this down here. And as you pull, you'll go right up the rung, right up the corkscrew. I'm trying not to get my hands in there, but you got to hold it. There we go, that'll work better. All the way up. Oh, am I going to run out? You can go back down and up as you see fit to clean. Again, not the best. Pretty, get over here. Ow, my fingers are caught. All right. Again, all the way up. It is pretty nasty on the top of mine. Right. So I have cleaned off. I've used up 2 of those. I'm going to come in with a lint-free cloth that they talk about, and I am now just going to clean up all of like the bed carriage area. I'm going to run it up and down my Z screw, just anything left on the outside. This is a Burt's Bees baby cloth. I figured if it's good for my baby's butt, it's good for this. All right, so that is hopefully cleaned. I guess what we can do is run it up. So hold on one second. All right, I'm just going to actually clean the slides too a little bit. These do not look bad at all, but we're cleaning everything else, so we may as well go ahead and I'm going to have to wash that plate. I know what you're thinking. Doug, you're touching your plate. Well, yeah, I just did. So we're going to clean that. Take a little coffee break here. Perfect. There are the two rails I can't reach in the back really, or the one rail, because why would it have 2? You know, I wish I knew. Does that? That's got a lot of play in there. Okay, cool. All right. There's a lot of dust around my printer. So I'm gonna, before I get done here, I am gonna get that all off of there. All right. So now we want to rehome the printer. It's gonna take a bit. All these stringy things from the 200 plus hours of printing. Wow. I don't know if it's just being highlighted. The back screw looks like it's got, it looks like it has metal shavings on it. I don't know. Maybe it's just the light hitting it, but it looks like, A, it doesn't sound good. And B, it looks like it's got metal shavings on it. All right, here we go. We're zeroing out. Cool. All righty. Get these all wiped down one last time. All right, so now what it says to do is to apply a small amount of grease on the Z plus side. The Z plus is this way, so we're going to apply some grease here, and then on the same side over here, and we're going to run it down. So let's apply some grease. Grease. Oh, okay. Let's get some on the other side. And don't forget about the one in the way back. Oh, that wire's never going to rust. I got the bed, the wire that goes to the bed. All right, so now we did that. Now we want to run this down. Run it all the way down to the bottom or close to it. That's what's happening there. Look at that. It sounds better, doesn't it? That was crazy. All right, so now I can go down another 15. We want to make sure. Oh, so what's that? That was 200, 245. That's good. All right, so now that we're all the way down, now we're going to take some more grease. And we're going to grease the screw. It doesn't tell you how much grease. So I'm only putting about, I don't know, a pea size. I mean, I don't think it takes much grease. And all the way in the back. All right, cool. So now we are greased up. I don't know if the slides here take grease. Could it hurt to put the lightest coating on there? I don't think so. I mean, at least on the Z side, it just slides up and down this, right? Now, the Y is the optical Y sensor. And all right, so now let's once again home this thing and watch it come all the way up. See if it makes that noise. All right, here we go. And then we'll move on to the Y axis. Oh, nope, still sounds that way. Sounds that way going up, doesn't sound that way coming down. So you could see, or maybe you can't. See if I can zoom you in there. It looks like a bunch of grease hanging out there. So I would just say that's probably too much grease. But it might be a better idea to use my little grease spreader. I don't know. Maybe we run it up and down a few times and see what happens. Yeah, see, and up here, geez, Doug, you got it. The people can't see. All right. Come on. One more time. So what you can't see is that it is building up. So let's go back down. 100, 200. No, that's 100, 150, 200, 1530. Perfect. All right, so what you can't see is that I may have put too much grease on. I am just going to run this up and down the shaft. Hey, you, stop it. All right, over here, grease that shaft. Oh, God, I got to stop saying that. All right, so we have greased the shaft. We have, I don't know, just stop. Because you know exactly. All right, so those are all greasy. Let's run it right back up to the top one more time and then go on to the next part. All right, and poof, like that, you're in a different angle way high up. All right, so the next step is to look at the y-axis, and the y-axis runs up and down this way, forwards, backwards, x, left to right. So the wiki says that the y-axis should be checked at least once a month and free of clean of foreign objects, right? And then it says the optical axis. I have been staring at this. I don't know where the optical axis is. Is that a translation problem? Is it? I don't know. I mean, the only thing that I can see is up here in the front corner. Let me take you off of here. Hold on. So I had the camera not recording. Anyway, I was saying that the wiki says to check your optical axis, y-axis, once a month. Clean it of debris. Well, we have debris, if you can see it, on our y-axis rails, and y goes front to back, back to front, on both sides. So we're going to clean that. But it keeps saying optical axis, and I don't know where this optical axis is. Right there, see that little black U shape? And on this side, there's that gray pin. Maybe that's just for homing, is my guess. Is the optical sensor inside the case that I just don't see it? I don't know. I don't know where it is. If you know what they're talking about and that it's not a translation issue, I don't know where this optical axis is. But anyway, we are going to go ahead and do what they said and clean off our y-axis rails, wipe them down, and give them a little light lubrication with the same stuff I was using, and go from there. So let me get you back up on the tripod so you can watch when making videos. All right. So it does say to move this and listen for sounds, move it by hand. It does sound a little bit crunchy, so let's get up in here. Wipe down our rails. I mean, yeah. All right, that's that one. Let's go to this side. Get a clean piece of towel. There goes my light. Wipe that down. I need to get this running because I've got more printing to do, and I got a little one who keeps asking, Dad, I need to use the S Cobra, as he calls it. All right, so that's that. Let's move this forward and clean the back half. As you can see, or not see, come on in, wipe off our rails with a clean cloth. I mean, they got junk on them. I'm not gonna lie. They do. And I've only printed, like I said, 250 total hours since February. All right, I did get grease on my build plate. Oh, geez. What am I going to do? I'm going to do Dawn and all that good stuff. All right, so we got those cleaned. And now the next step here is, which we did, is turn off the machine and all that. I promise it's not plugged in. We're going to lubricate the guide rails with a small amount of grease along the core surface of the y-axis optical. Whew. And then gently move it. Man, Anycubic, if you want to reach out to Doug, that's me here, Doug Does Stuff, and put together a wiki that makes more sense for some of the people, I'd be happy to try and figure out what you mean, and with your help, of course. All right, so we're putting what I am guessing to be a small amount of grease on the rails and distributing it as best as I can. Cool. And now we're going to move this backwards, forwards and backwards as it... I thought that was a bad sound. It doesn't really distribute it out, so just make sure, either using your finger or some other device, that you do get it out there. All right, so, well, that sounds nice and smooth, doesn't it? All right, so that is done. So we have now greased our Z screws, greased our Y rails. Let's take a pause and go to the next step. All right, and around to the front you go. Very much the same thing. They say on the X axis, I'm going to read it again. On the optical axis of the X assembly. I am just not understanding what the X optical axis is, but it says to clean the rails, which we're going to do. It says for this one to clean it with a little bit of alcohol. I left my whiskey upstairs, and a cloth. So, I mean, it is coming off dirty, and in the light, it doesn't look clean. Not gonna lie to you. I'm trying not to get the belts. I know what you're saying, Doug. Why didn't you take off the build plate? Well, it's too late now. It's too... Ooh, that's dirty, isn't it? All right, let's move this over here. This has some buildup on this side that you probably can't see from that camera angle. All right. Cool. Now, we're going to get a clean piece of cloth here, and we're going to do exactly what the wiki says, and using a little bit of alcohol, we're going to wipe it down. And alcohol, I'm using isopropyl 91. So put a little bit over here, or a lot, because it spilled out. Ooh, smells like the doctor's office. Wet. Move some stuff out of the way. Is it going to make it any bit cleaner? I got to tell you, this rail is looking mighty dirty. All right, so with those rails now clean on both sides, end to end, it says, oh, check that. Do not add grease. Do not add grease. This has graphene bearings in here, which are self-lubricating. So we greased the Z screws, we greased the Y. We don't grease the X. I'm just going to double check over there. Yeah, sure enough, in quotes, the X assembly is composed of an optical axis and a graphene bearing sleeve. And graphene itself has a lubricating effect. Therefore, the optical axis in red of the X-axis cannot be greased. All right, so the only thing left to do on the machine is to wipe down the inside, get out all these little dust bunnies and PLA Plus, make sure everything else is clean, make sure it's in place. And lastly, yes, don't you worry. You out there watching me like a hawk, I am going to clean this bed with Dawn dish soap very thoroughly, followed up with isopropyl alcohol. All right, cool. Hey, thanks for watching. If you haven't already, hit the like, hit the subscribe. Go ahead and clean your Kobra S1, which you should do every 3 months according to Anycubic. And good luck getting a good print. I know I'm still working on it. Thanks for watching.